we had a 13-game losing streak. It would be like 6 goals in one game, 9 goals in the other. It was just like goal, goal, goal. I went that whole season learning how to let goals in and move on. Quickly after that, we were number 1 in the conference. So it was a great switch, but learning how to let goals in and just kind of like humbling myself completely set me up for success going on in life. Because since then, I've never been the one, if you let a goal in, to see me like, putting my head down or slapping the ground or anything.
We're joined by Keely Thomas, a Division I goalkeeper at Long Island University, a woman of faith, a nursing student, and a content creator. We're talking about day-to-day life as a college athlete, simple habits, her faith, and more. But first, tell me about one specific post. You pranked your coach that a homeless man snuck onto your team bus.
Okay, that was not supposed to go as viral as it did. I love just having fun on our bus trips, and especially with our team. And there's this trending audio and idea going around where you create an AI photo of your locker room or the bus and you put in a homeless man there and then you prank your coaches. And on a very long bus trip, we decided to prank our coach and it didn't go very well. He pulled over in the middle of the highway and started sprinting back, and it was just a long, long debacle, but he found it funny, so we were not punished or anything. When I just saw the views racking up, I was nervous about like the minute I was going to be called into the office for that one. But that's not the first time that I was scared about like a trend like that getting us in trouble, because we had one that reached 4 million views a year and a half ago about us in the locker room, and that one too, I was nervous. I was sitting like walking into practice that day scared. I'm like, what is my coach going to say?
Was that an AI-generated homeless person as well?
It was about how like you spend your time in the locker room because as an athlete, sometimes you'll get to games 3 hours beforehand and you don't really know what to do. So I was looking around and all my teammates were doing just normal stuff to pass time, backflips, stuff like that. And so I recorded it and I went to sleep the next day. ESPN reposted it, Soccer Girl Probs, Overtime Sports. Everybody and their mom was reposting it, and I was definitely very nervous about that one.
That is awesome. So you had success individually and as a team in high school. What was it like to win a state championship?
Honestly, it was so amazing. More for the fact of my dad was my coach, and so to be able to bring him one too was really great. It's really great the difference in high school soccer versus club soccer, because high school soccer, there's more of that fun atmosphere to it because it's less stakes of thinking about college recruiters. So it's great because you see the girls every single day and it's just like a much more relaxed atmosphere. So being able to win a title there was really awesome.
So you end up going to Longwood University as a freshman. First, walk us through your recruiting process.
I had a really good club team. I was playing with Richmond United and we won 4 conference championships. We made it to the Elite 8 4 years in a row. And so because of that, we had some really good talent on our team. At the regional games and stuff, we'd have 70 to 80 plus college coaches at the games. So that's a good way of getting seen by the coaches. But specifically with Longwood, my club coach had great connections and he basically called him up and said, hey, I got a keeper for you. And I went to an ID camp and then that was pretty much history.
So then you transfer to LIU. What was the whole transfer experience like?
I don't know if you're familiar with Longwood, but it's in the middle of nowhere. After that semester, I realized I'm like, I feel stuck. I still love soccer. I love the girls there, but I just felt, even though it was close to home, that was just not the environment for me. So I hopped in the portal, and honestly, the portal is so much less scary than people make it seem. And it was the best decision I made to come here to Long Island. And yes, I've been here for the past 3.5 years.
So what advice would you give to somebody else considering transferring?
For me, the transferring process of actually getting the portal, the best thing I'd recommend is call your club coaches, call all your old coaches, talk about it. Because I had the genuine conversation sitting down of, is this the right decision? Should I stay? Should I leave? Call your coaches, see what they have to say. They'll be honest with you. And then if you have that gut feeling, go for it. You don't want to live with regrets of what if.
So obviously you were skilled. Talk about the transition mentally and physically from the high school game to the college game.
If you're in high school, you won't understand the changes and development you're going to go through in the next 4 years. I was expecting the physical changes. I was so unprepared. But I also, at that point, I didn't have that mental toughness that allowed me to be as physically fit and to push myself like I do now. The best thing for me to get physically fit was to strengthen my mental toughness. And that's in the little things of, okay, you're running fitness. Are you going to end it a little bit early because you're tired and you don't want to do it? Or are you going to go until your max and then do 2 more because you know that's going to build you better? I recommend training with older athletes and people that have gone through it so you can kind of learn it, but it's the same kind of thing of you have to learn that experience for yourself. Honestly, the 4 years in and out of getting fit, dealing with playing time, finding your spot in the team has made me a completely better person throughout it as well.
I think there's a reset of a standard physically and mentally of not only how you train, but the way you think. You know, what you think is hard in high school really changes once you get to the college game. So you settled into LIU, you have success, multiple Defensive Player of the Week awards. What do you know now that you wish you knew as a freshman?
My worth is not based on how I play in one game or how many minutes I get or even if a coach loves me in that moment. In the first year and a half, I'd say the way I showed up to practice was so reliant on how confident I was because I played well that last game or if I didn't play well the game before, I might show up the next day completely down and out of it. The big thing for me was relying on my faith, reminding myself that I'm not playing to prove myself to anybody else. I mean, in some regard for your coach, yes, but at the end of the day, that's just another person. If I let my worth and my confidence rely on all of that, it's going to be so up and down, up and down. And as a goalkeeper, you can't be up and down. You need to be consistent or else you're not going to play.
Hey, quick pause. If this conversation is providing you value, please take literally 5 seconds and hit that follow or subscribe button on your app. This is the best way to make sure that you don't miss any value from future episodes. Now back to the conversation. So mistakes definitely happen. What do you do to reset during a game?
I don't know if you've seen Ted Lasso, but there's a quote in it that's really popular is to have a memory of a goldfish. And the big thing, what is sitting on that mistake gonna do for you? I've realized if I'm nervous and in my head, I'm gonna drop a simple ball and that's gonna be a goal. I learned quickly early on in club soccer how to move on from that because my team are year in U13. I think we had a 13-game losing streak. It would be like 6 goals in one game, 9 goals in the other. It was just like goal, goal, goal. I went that whole season learning how to let goals in and move on. Quickly after that, we were number 1 in the conference for the next 6 years. So it was a great switch, but learning how to let goals in and just kind of like humbling myself completely set me up for success going on in life. Because since then, I've never been the one if you let a goal in to see me like putting my head down or slapping the ground or anything. Because as a goalkeeper, the whole team, if you are down, if you're screaming, everybody else starts screaming too.
That's such a valuable nugget that you just shared. Learning how to be humble. Another habit that you share online is journaling. Why is it so important for you and what does it help you with?
I absolutely love journaling. I do it every single day. And the biggest thing for me, I use journaling to switch my mindset. I started out with like just focusing on things I was grateful for each day because I was going through a rough time when I first transferred here, being away from home, and I found myself very down, and that was completely impacting myself in the weight room, my performance, and how I treated others. Through journaling, I've been able to like change my mindset to focusing on the positives. After each game, I'll write out exactly how I'm feeling. And not trying to censor any of it. If I'm like, I genuinely am very disappointed in how I played, this, and this. And then I write that out and I rewrite it right away, focusing on all the positives and what I'm proud of. Because if you go day in and day out and focus on the positives and find little ways to be proud of, then eventually you don't have to think about it. It's just your mindset.
What other high leverage habits do you have?
I'm very big on becoming the best person I am because I see that as self-care and the ultimate acts of self-love. So I have the habits of like a grandma though. I'm in bed by 7:30 and I'm awake by 4:30 usually because the small things that yes, everyone tells you completely change your performance. Getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep, getting a gallon of water in a day to stay hydrated, eating healthy. I like to focus on all whole foods, but generally just anything that I know is going to improve my performance, but also just improve my healthy like lifestyle. I try and strive for.
Yeah, you're definitely locked in many ways. Another thing you do is you put a Bible verse in big letters on your leg before playing. Tell us about that.
I started doing that this year because I got baptized about a year after I came here at Long Island. And for me, faith has just been the number one aspect of my life. But I've always been a little shy about proclaiming my faith. I have a 5th year, but this could be my last year. I want to start making it important to start discussions or because now that I have a social media presence for the audience that people that follow me tune into our live games. One of the refs has asked me, What's that Bible verse on your leg? And so it's an opportunity for me to share and remind myself the reason why I'm playing. And instead of getting like overwhelmed in the antics and the drama and the emotions of the game, it really keeps me rooted.
In addition to that, you show behind the scenes, day in the life, what you eat, travel days, and more. What's the inspiration behind the content?
Honestly, it's a way to keep me accountable. Over time, the more I spread my content, it's just because I'm starting to work on myself in many, many ways throughout my life. Since I was a high schooler, I've been following all sorts of different athletes on social media, and I've always seen them filming and them doing stuff, and I was so inspired by it, but I never thought that could be me. It's honestly just a way for me to work on me, and by doing it on film, it keeps me accountable.
You're already very busy, so what advice would you give to someone on managing time and eliminating distractions?
I have a job, I'm a nursing student, I'm a college athlete, and then I do all my social media stuff. For me, it's scheduling. You have to schedule out your time, or else that's how you skip meals and you don't recover enough. So I'm big on writing out a schedule if I know I'm going to have a busy day the next day. And then any moments of downtime that I get, I'm doing homework ahead of time. I'm prepping stuff ahead of time so that I still am able to live a life where I can do stuff and still have fun while getting everything else done.
A lot of people say trust the process, but what you're explaining is show me the process that you trust. So the idea of simple wins is more than just a scoreboard. What does simple wins mean to you?
I think that means discipline. Everybody strives for the big, shiny prize. If your eye is only on the prize of the big things and you don't focus on the little things, you're never going to get there. So focusing on the little things, because those little steps, those little habits build up to the big like the big prize, that's one of the most important lessons to learn along the way.
Love it. Keely, you have great habits, great perspective, and a big heart. Where can people find you online?
At Keely.Thomas. Find me on Instagram or TikTok.
Appreciate you, Keely.
Thank you so much.
I have one final question for you. Who else would benefit from listening to this conversation? If you have someone in mind, go ahead and share the episode with them right now. If you don't think of anyone immediately, go ahead and leave us a review on whatever platform you're on so people just like you can find the episode. Thank you for your time. Stay strong.